Hi there, Lori Morse with Five Element Creative Healing. And today I wanted us to just chat a little bit about how to cultivate creativity daily. I have a 5-page list here that I am happy to give you. It will be part of a download or an attachment actually to this Facebook Live. Um, and the thing is, I can't even tell you how many times I hear from people when I even bring the word creativity up. Not even the word artist, but the word creativity. I'm not creative at all. I can't even draw a stick figure. That is like the most common response that I hear. And I hear it multiple times a day. But I'm actually not talking about that aspect of creativity. I am talking about the aspect of creativity that courses through our veins. It can't not, because it is a life force that animates us and gives us life all day, every day. And there are so many ways that we could actually tap into that energy and build the muscle of having a relationship with our own creative life force. So I just wanted to go through, I think there's like 100 and something things on this list. And I just wanted to pick out a few that you can start with right now, building your muscle for feeling creative all throughout the day. This could be from the minute you wake up to using your own body as a canvas and choosing the paints or the colors that you're going to put on your own canvas that have nothing to do with magazines or cultural norms, but are ones that lift your spirit, that make you happy to look at. That kind of creativity is what I'm talking about. So let's start. One of the things on the list is take a walk in nature and just notice how amazingly creative Mother Nature is. I mean, and also notice her capacity to renew herself, which we also have that capacity, no matter what our age, but it gets that knowing and that still small voice inside of us that can constantly guide us and show us how to be in a renewing state, is drowned out by the loud voices of what culture says the way things should be, and our own critical mind. So building the muscle of creativity is like counterbalancing the judgmental, critical part of ourselves. So the more we give our awareness to our creative self, to the spirit that is in us, our heart, right? Then we can start tipping the scales in favor of that energy and into a more stabilizing, counterbalancing relationship with our mind, which can tend to be very, very critical and highly judgmental if our creative muscle is weak, right? So when we don't have a strong creative muscle, the critical mind just gets louder and louder. But as we build our creative muscle, our connection to our creative life force, our connection and our engagement in creative expression, then it stabilizes that critical part of ourselves. Isn't that cool to know? I mean, that's just like one of those counterbalancing checks and balances, like the sun and the moon, and the up and down, all the contrasts that exist on planet Earth. So while you're in nature, the other thing that you can do is consider how a particular circumstance in your life is an opportunity for renewal. Everything is an opportunity for renewal, but we get stuck in the place where things aren't working. We get stuck in the problem rather than opening ourselves up to the solution to that problem, which always, 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 law of energy exists. So just being in the inquiry of what might be a good solution to something that you have going on for you is a wonderful start. You can also take a piece of paper and draw a circle, and we did this in the law of circle, but for a different reason. You can draw a circle and put your problem, draw 2 circles actually, put your problem in one circle, overlap the 2 circles so that your mind can see from a visual perspective that there is a connection between problem and solution, and then just start kind of brainstorming with yourself and write in all possible solutions. Don't let your mind say, oh, that's not going to work. Just keep going. You've done this before in other ways, and just keep writing all possible solutions. You can even write outside of the circles, write on the back if you want. And then when you find something that feels like it trigger, resonates for you, or it kind of sparks for you, then connect the solution to the problem, and then just hang out with it for a day or two. Go into nature and look at a tree and walk and see the beautiful flowers, and notice what is happening in nature as you hold those two things in your mind, the problem and the solution, and in your heart. Include your heart in this kind of a journey. Ask yourself questions like, what would the sky taste like if I could have a little bit of a lick, like on an ice cream cone? Write a letter to yourself, and then write a letter to yourself about something that you're having an issue with, and then write another letter and pretend like the letter is being written to you and that particular situation from the divine counsel of wisdom. What would the divine counsel of wisdom that is constantly available to us say about your situation or your circumstance? Another fun thing to do is to pick a color, a different color every day, that you're going to try and just notice everywhere. And then the universe loves to play with us on this. I find this to be very, very fun. The universe can be very fun and very playful. So if my color is gold, I just carry on about my day. I remind myself a few times that my color is gold, and the universe will show me gold in so many places. It's crazy. I mean, it's so fun to just go, wow, I would never have seen that crevice with that gold in it if I didn't have this intention. And playing with color is really, really valuable, because color holds each color has a different frequency. Color holds a particular frequency. And when we talk about having intention to raise our own energetic frequency, and the raising of our own energetic frequency can help be a way of dissolving old energy and breaking up old patterns. So when we do that, all the things we do to raise our vibration and our frequency and our energy, and we're just talking about one little ingredient in the recipe here. I'll be talking about it for a long time, so don't worry. But the ingredient of color is so powerful, which is another reason I love creative healing processes, because we engage with color through the whole thing, and that has a quantum physics impact on energy that is denser for us. When I say dense energy, I'm actually referring to our energy that is stuck. In Chinese medicine, one of the tenets is, if there's smooth flow of qi in the whole body, then there is emotional harmony, there is no pain in the body, and our spirit is settled, happy, and centered. Well, most of us don't have that, right? So we're always looking for, or tending to, is probably a better way to say it, where is there some stuckness, and then what can we bring to that pocket to allow it to flow again, to allow it to move, to allow it to have some freedom, because that's all we all want, is freedom, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, mentally too. That's one of the big ones. So let's see sing. Just singing to yourself in the car, which probably a lot of us do, or in the shower, or if you're by yourself and you have something that you're reading, sing the thing that you're reading to yourself. Just a couple of lines, just to change the way you do things, right? We're always looking to sort of not be in habitual pattern mode, because habits and that kind of a groove keeps us stuck. Doodle. Just take a piece of paper when you're watching your favorite show and a pen, and just let the pen move wherever she wants to go, right? Just doodle, or outline something in a magazine that you see, or just make circles or spirals, or anything, any kind of a image that you actually like, and try to not think about it. Don't care what the outcome is. Care only that your pen is moving, that you're breathing into that, and that you're doing it with the intention of activating and accessing your spiritual intelligence in you, not outside of you, but in you, right? What else could we do? Do everything with the opposite hand for like 5 minutes. So if your dominant hand is right, then do the thing that you're doing for 5 minutes with your left hand. That's always kind of fun. You could color with a child, right? Or just buy yourself a coloring book and color with that, just to get in the mode of activating that creative brain part of yourself. When we color, we can't really and if we give ourselves permission to actually color out of the lines and not be so perfect about it, then there's less opportunity for our critical mind to pass judgment on what we're doing, because we're just filling in. We're just filling in. And that's a passive form of creativity, coloring. A more active form is actually creating a painting or drawing something from your own imagination. And they're both good. They both serve their purposes, right? So you might even ask yourself, how would my cat or dog solve this problem? And just pretend like your cat or dog was presented with a problem or a circumstance that you have, and imagine what they might have to say about the problem. Create a flower arrangement with flowers that you love and colors that you love. And before you start arranging the flowers, set an intention that you open up a space inside of yourself for meeting a solution to a problem that you have, or finding some information on a question or a desire that you have that is not that hasn't yet given you the solution. And then just go about that loosely, gently holding your inquiry or your desire, and let your creative life force sort of start taking over at one point and arranging the flowers. You know, you can prepare your desk this way. You can prepare a table for eating off of this way. You can prepare your coffee table. There are so many ways that you can express your creativity that don't involve what is maybe traditional artistic experience, and engage your creative life force, right? So I'm trying to give you just a few little ideas here, and then if you really want to read more, you can just grab this PDF and pick the ones that you like, or do a different one every day. Another thing that you could do is let me just see if there's one juicy one that's going to stand out. Oh, one thing that's really good is when there's a moon that you can see, it doesn't have to be a full moon, but any moon you can see, stand in front of the moon and imagine that your heart and the moon are connecting, so that as you're taking your breaths, you're actually connecting to the moon. Sun is yang energy, active energy. Not good or bad, it's just the nature of the sun. Moon is yin energy. That would be more of an aspect of the creative part of ourselves, that where our creativity just sort of girdles up from like our womb space. So if you connect with the moon, with your heart and your womb space, with the intention of activating more of your own creative juices from the inside, then over time you will realize all this stuff adds up, right? So it's not like a flip will be switched instantly and you'll run inside from your connection with the moon and whip out a canvas and start painting like Van Gogh. I mean, you might. That would be amazing. If you do, please post that. But it just, all this stuff adds up over time. And the thing is that I, at one point, came to the conclusion that I can either give the most precious space of my mind to my critical part of my mind, or I could give it to my creative part. It's hard to have it be both, right? Like it's, and the bottom line is I just didn't want my precious mental capacities to be letting my critical mind be living rent-free in my head, you know? So I just keep gently directing the space and offering the space to my creative spirit, so that she has a stage from which to begin dancing and moving and expressing and guiding me and giving me access to a treasure trove of gold that is in my own heart, just as it is in your heart. But we have to just give her that stage space, right? And so I made a decision that I'm gonna catch this squatter in my head as quickly as possible, the critical part of my mind, and just usher her off to the side, and then give the stage the precious land, the precious space to my creative mind. And it's just something you have to play with. When I say we have to build a muscle for this, I really mean that. Like, we do not go to the gym for the first time and expect, bulging biceps after our first workout. We build and we build and we build over time. And the idea of building a creative muscle is the same way. Just do a little bit every day. If you one of the ways we sabotage ourselves is to have these grand expectations, and then we can't really find a way to meet that expectation, and then we feel like, oh, we're our critical mind steps in and says any number of mean things. But if we just do a little bit every day, and we don't have like any sort of perceived expectation for the outcome, meaning if you're going to arrange some flowers, let it be what it is until you're happy with it. You don't have like a specific thing in your mind. If you're going to draw, let yourself draw. Don't have a specific outcome in mind. This is really where the journey is much more impactful than the destination. So I know some of these things I'm saying are a little bit cliche, but it's true, and it definitely applies to creativity. And art imitates life, our creativity imitates life. So just do a little bit every day, and pretty soon you'll have these little pearls that you can string together, that you can call a necklace for yourself, that make you start realizing and not doubting that you have creative capacities in whatever way you choose to express them. And so go grab this yummy 101 things on the list of how, and start adding to yourself, adding to the list yourself, so that you have this running list, this dynamic list of things you can pick from each and every day on how to just add a little bit more creative juice to yourself and to your life. Okay. In great love and creative wholeness until we meet again.